And now the final trailer for R.L.D.S. Requiem.
Nem, ez is nem csak egy árimester, hanem múltat van vele. Te ismered.
We're going into the past. Of course, this is after all supposed to be the first time we met, Mirko.
De megérdemelte az igazság.
It all started when I was born. Okay, not that
Du
far
weißt schon,
back.
Ackerton, dass es besser ist, über seine Probleme zu reden,
Ooh,
anstatt
Zodiac,
nur über sie
nice.
nachzudenken.
Várjunk csak! Te egy párbajozó vagy, igaz?
The wigs will take some getting used to, but people age forward, unfortunately, so not much you can do about it.
Megidézhetem már is! Az ötfejű sárkány!
Oh wow, they are keeping the five-headed dragon. That's the thing I wouldn't mind if they retcon, but they actually keep it. Fair enough. Bye, Marshmallow.
Ihr könnt vielleicht auf euer Glück vertrauen, aber es wird mehr als Glück brauchen, um ein Duell zu gewinnen. Seht zu und lernt.
Oh, great. Grinnell keeps looking better and better.
Valami azt sugja nekem, hogy ez a párbajunk sokkal keményebb lesz, mint az eddigiek.
R.L.D.S. Requiem. Oop, that's the end of the thing. Okay, got a bit to break down here. We'll do my best I can to analyze it, but I make no promises. Just want to say it's kind of depressing to add not AI to things nowadays, but there's always gonna be people out there claiming it is. So yeah, whatever. I mean, at least they say in the title, just get it out of the way. Just like, listen, scumbags, we actually worked on this thing. We didn't just put in ChatGPT. Anywho, let's focus on focusing on the video itself and getting that out of the way. So, obviously, based on the thing alone, we're going to have Lehel and Agaton just talking to each other and be like, so, Nemesis and you have history? You want to talk about that, pal? We never actually went into that. You see, it all started when, and given this, I imagine probably, we're going to say this happened around season, oh no, I was going to say it happened in Season 1, but no, technically also Shmirko meeting Agaton and Lehel also happened in Season 1. Or just off screen, or at least somewhere between Season 1 and Season 2. We don't have all the details yet, but yeah, he was newly introduced in Season 2. We know that for an absolute fact. Anywho, moving forward, I guess it is possible to just like end this video just like, I don't know. It would be funny if they end after the roulette tournament, just like, hey, yeah, we just saw Bensei beat Tamash. Hooray, the hero of heroes. By the way, pal, how the heck was up with Nemesis? It's just like the most random of times to bring it up, but I mean, what better time, I guess? Anywho, yeah, Agaton does have a history with Nemesis, so it'd be interesting to know what those sort of things are. Maybe he was with the bad guys originally. Who can say? I have to wait and find out, but... Oh, I thought that was Decode Talker first. I was like, what the fuck are you doing here? No, it's Buster Blader. And that's Relinquished right over there in the corner, obviously. Kind of a weird side thing. I also kind of like these dual podium things here. I like seeing early tech of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist sort of stuff. It's like, we see the Duelist so much. I don't have a problem with the Duelist. Like, there's nothing wrong with it or anything like that. But I like the sort of, like, retro stuff and being more creative with it. Like, anyone can put on a dual disc. Let's see you get a bit more creative. Like the Lego Dual Discs in early R.L.D.S. Or like the freaking Duel Stadium things in Duelist Kingdom, the anime version, of course. Oh, the table in the manga wasn't bad either. Also, the freaking actual Duel Disc that Kaiba had also in Duelist Kingdom. I just like seeing early tech sometimes. Anyway, we got some guy named Zente, most likely just a friend or something. They got to summon Skull there, not bad. And I just be like your opening duel, just to be like, hey, it all started back then. We cut to the Agaton doing the duel thing, and yeah, who knows, maybe makes a deal with the devil or something like that instead of just being a bad guy. Apparently, he gets pushed around by him. I guess he beat a guy he wasn't supposed to beat or something. Moving forward, Agaton telling the truth, and we find out that it'll come this winter. No rushing as always, but looking forward to it all the same. And then we go into the pyramids to go and meet the legendary Shmirko, who has Exodia. I like this kind of card frame for like giving the ancient Egyptian vibes, but also making it feel a little modern. Kind of vaguely reminds me of Hungry 7 Heritage, with how the cards upgrade with the times, like shooting Quasar in the group, where just like they start as paper, then moved on to Bandai, which is a nice touch, and then move forward into like the card game we know today. I just think it's neat. And yeah, they meet up with Shmirko, who looks like he hasn't aged a day with this sort of thing, but I guess that's also a thing we can do with special effects. There's a difference between special effects and AI, after all. There are similarities, but they are not the same. Also, I am very happy to see they kept the five-headed dragon in this, because that was a thing that we didn't get to see much of their, well, meeting, but we know they summoned five-headed dragon, and honestly, that was something I could see be like, they might retcon that part, you know. The parts, if they retcon that minor thing, there's more symbolism, okay, that's fine, whatever. I don't get every single thing right, but no, they're keeping it. Also, apparently he's using the ancient strategy of I activate fusion, future fusion, I mill 5 dragons, and now I fuse them immediately to make 5-headed dragon. At least that's what the combo looks like, because Agaton's got nothing on his field, meanwhile you're immediately summoning the 5-headed dragon. Also, I like this shot where he's got Blue Eyes, Exploder Dragon, I think that's Desynchro or something, Kaiba Man, Future Fusion, and Dragon's Mirror. That can't be Defusion. The card, something looks... Oh, they had... No, wait, not Defusion, Desynchro, but that wouldn't be... No, it's different dimension reincarnation. There's a little DDR at the top there, and there's the guy's friggin' forehead. See, I could have been like a NASA scientist, or like a working nuclear physicist, but instead I could recognize Yu-Gi-Oh cards based on half their artwork and a friggin' DDR logo. Thank goodness my brain went to important stuff. Anyway, yeah, we get to see their hand here, which is pretty cool already. To summon 5-headed dragon, and I guess, unfortunately, Lehel and his girl is having a falling out, which is weird because they were still together in Season 1, and that caused a bit of a thing, but they also had a bit of a breakup again. What is with Lehel and just losing his women? It happened in Season 2 because of the whole, like, I died thing. And now it's happening again. Although, to be fair, they did get back together again. I don't have a problem with, like, drama in like, love stories or anything like that. Like, sometimes it can be a little cliche, but I don't hate it, like, inherently. But it's one of those things just like, can all you do is just break up and get back together again? Like, if you're gonna have them together, have them together. If you're gonna break them up, break them up. Don't break them up just so you can put them together again. Sorry, that's just a pet peeve in a drama. It's like, what the fuck's the point? I'm not saying it never happens in real life, it's just annoying when you see it enough times. Oh, anyway, but yeah, it is nice that she's more worried that he's gonna get himself killed because he's, well, trying to go too far, I guess, and she doesn't want anything bad to happen to him, which is understandable. And yeah, if that gets in activating 1,000 Knives, no doubt he has Dark Magician on his field, which I don't think he played in Season 1. In fact, I don't think he played in general. Although it's been a hot minute. No, wait. No, he did have Dark Magician Girl and all that, so I think he did have a Dark Magician, maybe. He has to have Dark Magician, otherwise he can't activate 1,000 Knives. There's no other explanation. Also, I like how it skewers Marshmallow. It's also very bloody and gruesome like that. Jeez. That's how Yugi got rid of it in the freaking anime duel. Although I did like learning that in the manga duel. He just has Dark Magician attack Marshmallow, and it dies. It's like, but it cannot be destroyed by battle. No, my Dark Magician is attacked with magic. Therefore, it is able to destroy your Marshmallow. I'm sorry, what? It's Kazuki Takahashi duel writing, and sometimes there's a little bit of finicky stuff. You gotta move the plot for it, but still, it's just like, I'm sorry, what? Well. Duelist Kingdom never truly left for Kazuki, but hey, you know, we remember it for a reason. Yeah, he's gotta have Dark Magician, because look at it, he's got it right here. Also, this is still my favorite art of Dark Magician with the black and white around it. I just love the Kazuki Takahashi art. The DSOD is a pretty close second, though. And of course, I can't hate the purple hat. It's just, I like seeing... Black and white are cheating colors. They look good with everything. Especially each other. And yeah, apparently Summon Skull and Dark Magician are having a fight to the death, and given the fact that we saw earlier in this one, dude has Summon Skull, yeah. That's probably going to flash forward to earlier, or something from earlier. And yeah, there he has Dark Magician. He's got to have Dark Magician, because otherwise, again, can't activate 1,000 Knives. Also, interesting artwork exhibit. I think it looks like, it might be the globe. It looks like Arcana Dark Magician, the red Dark Magician, so that's a neat little detail. Excuse me. Then again, you could also have multiple colors of Dark Magician, or just be wanting to use this art Dark Magician for this shot. It's not the end of the world if it has a different look. Also, I like the little hologram things here. Also, it's incredibly funny that he's using Relinquished, given that Nemesis also used Relinquished, and now I'm thinking about he used a Summon Skull, so I think we found Nemesis before the incident. now now my brain is starting to really fire off synopsises. It's been asleep the entire day, and now it's awoken. Anyway, let's move forward before I get too obsessed with things. Yeah, this is a nice shot with Smirko. No, that's Agaton in the corner, I believe. You can probably tell because he's not wearing the hat. If someone's in the campfire and someone's watching, I imagine Smirko just like, who the hell's in my pyramid? I have security for a reason. Why is a Dark Magician given the staff? And of course, Smirko summons one of his ice monsters as one of his heavy hitters, which is Grinnell, who keeps looking better and better with every showing. Like, seriously, at some point they're just gonna have him in real life. And I mean, like, actual real life, not so that AI in real life. I mean, like, they're just gonna build a Grinnell. One of these days. No, unfortunately, it was something. We'll get actual real life Yu-Gi-Oh monsters before we get flying cars at this point. I know they're working on flying cars. They've been working on flying cars since frickin' the idea of flying cars. Also, how come every method of transportation eventually boils down to the train? I swear to God, every time they announce a new form of transportation, it's just the train again. I like trains too. I don't want everything to be trains. Fake train fan. Anyway, moving forward. Yeah, this duel will be more challenging than you ever faced before. Boy, you don't know the half of it. But yeah, Schmirk will just be like, 2 against 1 that summon giant monsters. Alright, fine, let me just put this arm behind my back, make this a little fair. I do like this shot of the cavern and see how big the pyramid is. I guess this is just where Smirko lives, I guess. I mean, he doesn't have a house. Like a tradition. Well, no, he has a castle, but that's... Well, that is like a house, but it's not like a house. I'm being pedantic. Interesting how he's in this cave, too, because, again, we see him have a castle later. I mean, I don't have a problem with him having multiple places. Actually, I have a big problem with it because he has multiple places, and I'm stuck with being me. Who knows, maybe they wake Smirko up like a mummy in a tomb. In fact, maybe that's what we see in the frickin'... the fire in the back. It's just like, who dares disturb my slumber? No, we know that's not how Smirko works because we know he's a time traveler and all that. But just imagine we will awaken his tomb and he comes out like a mummy. Okay. Joke's over. Alright, I'm gonna make some theories now as to what's going on. Also, this is a brand new shot of Nemesis. So this is... They put the mask back on and everything. I knew they still had the mask based off Season 2 of R.L.D.S, but that was also like 10-ish years ago. But then again, I guess you also want to keep some mementos of all the stuff you went through. I built this mask. I'm fucking keeping it. Fair enough. Okay, so... the way it seems to go is that I get... If I had to make the prediction as to how this goes, it's either going to start off with Smirko and Agaton in modern... No, it's not Smirko and Agaton, sorry. I start with a problem. With Agaton and Leho in modern day being like, hey, you know what happened with Nemesis and all that? What the hell is that all about? And then we flash back. Or it could be something like Agaton and Leho are having a conversation like somewhere between Season 1 and Season 2, and they discuss what happened with Nemesis. We then flash back, which would probably be what's going to happen here, because otherwise we have a flashback in a flashback, and that's just not happening. Although, I guess, if we're flashing back, I guess, no. Now, I'm not making sense, because if we had the thing in the future, they would then flash back to Agaton versus human Nemesis, we'll just call him for simplicity, and then that's not a flashback and a flashback, that's just flashing back and then moving forward. That's... Am I making things too complicated? Okay. Let me get back on focus. Okay. Anyway, yeah. Somehow these two are talking about, like, hey, remember what happened with Nemesis? What the hell is up with all that shit? And then they just... they have a flashback to Agaton remembering when he was, like, an up-and-coming duelist or something. I remember that Agaton still needs some training when it came to duel monsters. Like, he knew how to play, but he wasn't, like, king of... he wasn't king of games. That's a fucking fact. So, I guess he was going up against this guy who was named Zente, which most likely forgot and just refer to him as human in Nemesis for simplicity's sake. I like how its name kind of has a bit of Nemesis in it. It's not a lot, but there's a little bit of Nemesis, and it's, I mean, you know, letters, I mean to say. Anyway, yeah. So he has a fight with Zente here, and I guess Agaton manages to win the duel, and Zente didn't like that, and then it got physical. And I imagine it went to, like, some terrible accident happened. Maybe the two got into a big scuffle, and then, like, I don't know, like a power line got tripped or something, or a fire broke out some way, somehow, and then Zentei was left horribly damaged. Or maybe, like, maybe Agaton somehow managed to win the fight, Zentei got knocked the fuck out, wakes up later, the bad guys are here to be like, would you like to join us to get your revenge? Hells yeah. And then, you know, you're a Shadow Lord now. Or maybe he, like, gets, again, the fire idea, he gets brutally scarred, promises revenge, and then the bad guy, Shadow Lords, come in and be like, hey, you want some revenge on this Agaton guy? Hells yeah. And then, yeah, that's why he wears the mask. Because now I'm thinking about, yeah, the fire thing makes more sense. Because just, like, why wear the mask if you're not scarred? It makes me look cool. It does make you look cool. You're not scarred. Why wear the mask? It's like the paradox thing. Why do you wear a mask? We have no idea who you are anyway. It makes me look cool. True. No lies detected. Anyway, yeah. Agaton and Zentei get into a fight. There's an accident. Bada bing, bada boom. You're a Shadow Lord now, like I explained. And then, if this is truly what's happening in modern day, not happening in modern day, but this truly is like saying will take place between Season 1 and Season 2, they're having a talk and be like, well, what are we going to do to beat the Shadow guys then? What the hell? I heard about these Exodia pieces things. Where'd you hear about these Exodia pieces from? Shut up. I guess Zentei maybe said something offhand or something. Or maybe Lehel knows more that he bargained for or something. Either way, some way, somehow they learn about Exodia and then have to go find the fastest way to get to it and get information about it would probably be to go through the Cowboy. Actually, now I think about it, the Cowboy also owns the Exodia pieces, so... Well, no, because it was also kept with Agaton, but... I might be getting a little bit of R.L.D.S lore a little jumbled in my head. Forgive me if I get some things wrong. But, yeah, anyway, some way, somehow learn about Exodia. Bada bing, bada boom. Anyway, yeah, they go to Shmirko's cave, and they run into, well, Shmirko trying to find a shortcut to get to the Exodia piece, or at least try to get some information about the Exodia pieces. I also like how there's Dark Magician statues in the background. Just a nice touch detail I wanted to point out. And Shmirko's like, oh, you want to know about Exodia pieces and all that? Take a number. I got like 5,000 people waiting outside. Wait, what if we duel you for it? Fine, we duel, and if I win, then I'll tell, and then get the hell out. If you win, I'll tell you what you want to know. And then, well, yeah. They have a duel, and then maybe throughout the duel, like, Agaton and Lehel explain what the hell their thing is. Just like, let me guess. You want the Exodia pieces to get ultimate power and, like, take over the world or something. No, actually, we want to do it because my freaking girlfriend / his sister got kidnapped by the Shadow Riders, and we need to make sure, the Shadow Lords, and we gotta get him back. Oh. Okay then, they're right over here. Let me give you some coordinates. And yeah, you know, you learn to trustworthy people because we have a card game against each other. Therefore, I know you're a good person because you're really good at playing card games. Of course, I imagine they're not going to touch Shmirko at all. If Gary couldn't touch him with an Arc Hyper Legendary, you don't stand a ghost of a chance. I don't care if the reboot timeline it makes that thing somewhat inaccurate, considering they're not Arc Hyper Legendaries anymore. This isn't about Synchropath, James. Focus on R.L.D.S. Yeah, maybe they'll do some damage to him. I can't say for 100% certain, obviously, but I imagine they're not going to even touch his life points. But who knows, man? But, you know, if they don't touch his life points, man, there'll be a moment just like, aha, we have 5,000 attack points, and you only have a monster with 0 attack points. How are you going to survive this, Shmirko? Bitch, you know that monster with 0 attack points? Its name is Yubel. Fuck! Or some Shmirko Who's'em what's it thing, like, they have the ability to kill him in one blow, and Shmirko goes, no you, or something like that. Anyway, yeah, they manage to summon all these impressive things, do all these cool things, and Shmirko learns that you are indeed trustworthy. And then Lehel comes back and then wants to go ahead and find Kara and all that, so, and then has a problem flying up this girl because storytelling. I don't know where this is put in the storyline. I don't think about this sort of stuff. I guess it's probably happened around the time that she gets kidnapped, the sister / girlfriend. I just like, aha, chilling at this. Yeah. So this is happening. This is like, okay, so we flash forward a little bit to their not modern. I keep saying modern day. Hey, so yeah, they're having to talk about what happened with Nemesis, and then since this is right after the girl got kidnapped, I imagine the other love interest for Lehel would also be like, that could be me, and that could be you. I don't want any of this. I'm out. And yeah, then they decide to go off and find Exodia. And yeah, and Shmirko and them have their duel. He tells them about what's up with the Yugioh pieces, and then we decide to be like, hey, you know, this Shmirko guy, he's a really cool guy. Can you, like, you want to be friends? Hells yeah. Dude, I live on my own in the middle of a bumfuck nowhere. I would gladly take some friends. Who doesn't want a couple friends, right? I needed someone to talk to. Mech-Lord Emperor Grinnell doesn't talk to me anymore. We're not on speaking terms. I don't fucking know. The only person who talks to me is a Shadow Lord thing, and he's a tree. And yeah, then the heroes leave with not all the information they wanted, but they got something. So at least they didn't walk out of this empty-handed. And now they can have the power to go off and find Kara and clean up this loose end for R.L.D.S, I guess. That it's just really cool to see this getting locked up. Will we get Arc Zero? No, probably not. But hey, if we get this, I'm happy, honestly. Just like Arc Zero would have been cool. We're not getting it, but it. You know, I also like to believe in that 1%, but it's I can believe in the 1% while also being a realist. But Requiem, it looks like we are getting it. Of course, as always, no forcing them to get it out early or anything like that. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm not gonna where's the new episode now? And yeah, and then it ends with them catching up with modern day. Or if we are falling off, they're like, oh, so that's what happened. Yep, the end. And then like call Smirkors and like, hey, bud, long time no talk. The end. Or something. But yeah, that's basically my theory what the synopsis is going to be for it. Just like to summarize them between season 1 and 2, ask about what's the hell's going on with Nemesis. Agaton explains what happened with human Nemesis, the horrible disaster. Nemesis got horribly injured into the fire. How'd you know the parts you weren't there for? Shut up. Kara gets kidnapped, and then the other girlfriend's just like, oh no, that could be me too. I'm out. They go to Egypt or wherever the frick this cave is. Try to find more about Exodia. Shmirko challenges them to a duel, thinking they're up to no good. They're actually up to good, and Shmirko's like, I'll tell you a little bit. And then they all decide to be friends, and we all live happily ever after in the end anyway. So yay! Gotta go find the Exodia pieces, because I ain't gonna help you in that part, but yeah, I'll point you in the direction. So yeah, they get something. And they all live happily ever after the end. Yeah. So that's my theory of where the plot's going to go for R.L.D.S. Requiem. Will I be right? Probably not, but I think it's a pretty open and shut case as to where the story is going. But who knows? Maybe they'll play the movie in reverse. You never know for 100%. Anyway, yeah, that's my theory as to where it goes. I could always be dead wrong. These are just my theories of how the story goes, and this is all for fun at the end of the day. So yeah, that's my theory as to what's going to happen with R.L.D.S. Requiem. I am heavily looking forward to it, and you know, as always, take your time with Shmirko and Lehel, or Larion, as I should call him in real life. Or Marco and Larion. Feels weird to use real names, but whatever. Take all the time you need, and I'm looking forward to it. So, looking forward to see what comes next from R.L.D.S. as always. And Shmirko as always. So, yeah, that's the end of today's video. I have managed to turn a 1-minute episode into a freaking, probably half an hour. So, excuse me. Let's wrap this up. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and hope to see all of you next time. Until then, Verap Shidong.